We did an interview with Amir Essalhi, who was a current Scientology staff member in Edinburgh, Scotland, a few weeks ago after he did his first interviews with Apostate Alex and Aaron Smith-Levin. At any rate, we held on to the interview because we were concerned that he was going to get in trouble with Scientology. Now, our interview that's going to follow was recorded a few weeks ago. And of course, after doing the interviews with us and other people, Scientology, of course, found out about it. And he got into trouble on his position in the organization in Edinburgh. And he has eventually now left staff in Scientology. So we wanted to preface this interview and let you know that we did this interview a few weeks ago. Now, the purpose of our interview with him is we wanted to ask him what it was like now working on staff in a Scientology organization. We did not attack him in any way, shape, or form. We wanted to show to him and to the OSA and Scientology staff that would watch this video that even though we are quote unquote declared suppressive people, that we are actually very friendly and that we allow people to give their information and state their opinions without evaluating for them or invalidating them. And open lines of communication is what we're looking for here, not disconnection. As a matter of fact, with Scientology's actions since he started reaching out and doing these interviews and trying to find out what's going on, Scientology demonstrates one of the worst aspects of their organization, which is punishment and disconnection for just communicating with people and learning information that is not spoon-fed to them by Scientology. Anyway, we hope you enjoy this interview with Amir. Here he comes right now. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to our channel, Scientology Peeling the Onion. My name is Mark Fisher, and I'm here with my co-host, Janis Gillham Grady. G'day, Janis. How you doing?
G'day, Mark. G'day, everybody. Hey, I'm excited about today's interview. Remember I went to Scotland back in September?
Yeah.
Well, today's interview is going to take me back there again. just to be in Scotland, to be in Edinburgh, it's a lovely country. And the people were great, and that's who we're interviewing today, is someone from Scotland.
That's exactly right. And this is an interesting one. This is an active Scientology staff member in the organization in Scotland, in Edinburgh. It's called Happy, and that's they can't call it a religion or whatever there. So it's always been Happy. That's the name of the org there. And he is the public control secretary in Division 6. Working as a Scientology staff member for the last 2 years there. And he's actually been reaching out to people and opening up a communication line, which is really important. Janis and I, we don't have any problem talking to anybody about anything. And we also are not going to, trash or cut across somebody's faith. If they want to believe in L. Ron Hubbard and Scientology or Jesus Christ or Muhammad, we're not gonna criticize that. But we do have disagreements, obviously, with some of the policies and some of the abuses that went on. Obviously, we've talked about them. And our channel is about the history of Scientology and letting people tell their stories without evaluation or invalidation. So we're really glad to have this open communication with our guests. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce him. It's Amir Essalhi. And he's coming here to us from Scotland. And without further ado, here we go, Janis.
Yeah.
Hi, Amir. How you doing?
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm very well. I'm staying in there. I'm doing good, guys.
Good.
Is it cold in Scotland right now? We're in Las Vegas here.
Oh my God, I'm freezing my ass off. Like, it is terrible over here. It's too much for me.
Well, I was there in September and it was cold, so it must be worse now.
Yeah, especially if you're body routing and you're hanging outside the org for like 5 hours or whatever. It's even when you're moving up and down, it doesn't get any warmer.
Now, hanging outside the org for how many hours?
Oh, like if you're body rooting like me for 4 or 5 hours with your juniors, then
Oh my
it's
God.
brutal. Yeah.
So you do body routing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I have
Well,
I had someone posted there, but I still have to do it.
well, tell me what it's like to body route and how you get treated.
Oh, it's excruciatingly painful. So, I don't think it's ever been an easy job body rooting people into
No.
the org. I don't.
Explain, Amir. Can you explain to our viewers, because we have a lot of viewers who have never been in Scientology, what is body routing or body rooting, as they call it in Scientology?
Yeah, 100%. So, body rooting. If anybody ever walks past a Scientology organization, like an org, like a building, and you see people outside handing out flyers or saying, "Here, come with me," trying to get you in. For usually when they try and get you in, it's for what we would call an introductory service. So they would say, "Hey, come with me, and let's do a stress test, or let's do a personality test." But when you see, they're always outside, and they're always going to say, "Hey, come with me. Let's come in. Let's do something. Let me show you a film." Those guys are the body rooters, and they have a statistic, and the statistic is new public in. So they're trying to get in as many new people as possible. They're trying to deliver as many intro services as possible. How many films can I show, like new public? And through that, their product is mostly like first starts, like getting people started on a course or a service, or books. Obviously, there's a massive push on selling as many L. Ron Hubbard books as possible to new people. So that's basically what they do.
Yeah. I was going to say, when I got into Scientology in the 1970s in Washington, D.C. at the founding church, Bill Franks was there as the executive director, as a commanding officer, actually, Janis, you remember this. Anyway, but after I was just I was a teenager, I was just public there. But when they had their evening muster where they gathered together at 6:45 before, things started, after the muster, sometimes he would send everybody out onto the streets of Washington, D.C., outside the organization to try and body route somebody into Division 6 before they had to go on post at 7 o'clock. And I'll never forget that, because they'd all go out, and next thing you know, here comes a few new people in to the bookstore or into the Division 6 area. So that's always been kind of a formula that Hubbard and Scientology has had to try and get new people in.
Yeah, my mother used to do that as well at Celebrity Center in Los Angeles. But in 1976, when Hubbard had first moved to California, I was running the relay office, and he would send me different projects to go do on checking on different orgs and things. And he gave me one project, and that was to write up a program to get the test center set up in the Hollywood Inn on Hollywood Boulevard. And so I ran a whole thing of getting the space cleaned up and created and painted and everything, and then get it manned. And then we sent out the body routers and, had people inside the test center doing the tests and stuff like that. So I was born in Scientology, so I didn't come in any other way. But it was interesting to have that experience of setting it up for the body routers to bring people in. And they were abused out on those streets, for interrupting people going down the boulevard or whatever. But so other people were interested.
Yeah. So how you have to definitely raise your confront, let's put it that way, and use your training routines, your communication skills when you do that kind of thing. Or selling books. Used to sell Dynamics books in parking lots too. That was the other thing we used to do. Hey, Amir, how did you get involved in Scientology? You're 20 years old and you've been on staff for 2 years, but how did you actually get into Scientology?
I feel like I'm going to give the most unoriginal answer, but I'm a big movie buff, so I'm like a huge cinephile. So that's a lot of the stuff that I'm involved in, and I love acting and filmmaking and things like that, all that fun stuff. So it's Tom Cruise. I mean, that is honestly, it is. I've told the story to so many people at this point, but I'm just a big fan of his, and I think I've always been. There's like a trend on social media that you might see when you flick through, but it's describe yourself in 3 words, and someone has to try and think of 3 words to describe themselves. For me, a word I would use is curiosity. I'm very curious, and also a
Okay.
sponge. And I love knowledge. And it's another reason why I like speaking to people is I could just listen to someone speak for 5 hours and just consume and just pick at their brain. And I just want to know everything. So I was curious. I was like, he's pushing 70 years old. He's in his mid 60s. I couldn't, at the time, I was in awe, and I could not name a single 60-year-old man that can hang off an airplane at 140 miles per hour 14 times, take after take. It's just like inhumane. It's like, what? So
Yeah.
I was curious. And then you go on YouTube, and there's obviously a lot of stuff that you can absorb there. And he wins his Freedom Medal, and he talks about study technology, and he's class 5, he's on his OT levels. He's talked about how he couldn't be at that level without what he's learned. So I was curious, and I'm one of the unique ones where I wasn't body rooted in, and nobody said, here, come with me. And I didn't buy a book on my first intro, which was a personality test. Whenever they'd recommend me something, I would ridge on it. And I was like, well, what's Tom doing? Or what does Tom talk about? So I ended up going through, I ended up wiping through nearly all of the life improvement courses, basically. And I set like a record. I was doing 3 a week. So I just re-signed and went into the next one, re-signed, went into the next one. Effective leadership, admin scaling, write out how you, whatever goal or whatever it is you want to achieve, write it down. Set targets. How are you going to do it? Keep track of it. Stay organized. Don't effective time management. Don't Q&A. Stable data. One thing at a time. Ups and downs in life. PTSdness. Who's good for you? Who's not good for you? Who in your life? There's so many essays. I never realized that until I did the courses. But you would get data, and then how could you use it? And then data, and then how could you use it? Who's not good for you in your life? Who's always spreading bad news and negativity? Who, all of this stuff. And I was like, you know what? I can use this. This is fantastic.
Right.
Yes.
So are these extension courses you did, or courses you went into Happy to do?
They were all done in the course room as life improvement courses.
Okay. All right.
So they're like introductory courses that you guys deliver in Division 6 for public. Are they relatively inexpensive? I mean, I don't know what they charge these days for those things.
I can tell you right now in present time, in the United Kingdom, not sure about the United States, but in the United Kingdom, each life improvement course and the personal efficiency course is £34.
Oh,
Okay.
That's reasonable. Yeah.
I was going to say, I would thought they were like $50 US, which I guess they're probably pretty close to that. Yeah.
That is very similar. And that's what the comm course used to cost, or $25 or $50 at a cheap price just to get people in the door. But we didn't, in the old days, we didn't have all those courses that you just listed off. So in the meantime, all these years later, they've broken down these and made these simple little courses.
Now, let me ask you, Amir. So when you body root somebody into the organization, do you guys? I mean, you'd have the personality test. That used to be the go-to when I first got in Scientology. But I remember, because I worked for David Miscavige, and I was around in the late 80s and 90s, that Hubbard wanted to do like movies that you could show the people and actually have them sort of disseminate. We used to have lecturers. There would be a Division 6, a real person who would lecture and answer questions. Is it done through videos and movies now, or do you guys do live lectures, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's a really good question, Mark. So there's not. I've changed the strategy since I've been posted there, but films are not such a big thing now. In my org, I don't know about abroad. I know London love films, but for Scotland and Happy, it's not such a big thing. The reason is not many people re-sign from it. It's not got a high re-sign percentage. Also, we're not ideal. So, if you've ever been to Happy before, like, we have a life improvement center which is being renovated. and we can only use the top floor, but like to get someone all the way up the spiral stairs to show them this film and they don't even re-sign for it. So it's kind of been abandoned. I've been mostly on post pushing stress testing. Stress testing has been the easiest way to get someone in. It's way quicker than the personality test because most people don't even finish OCAs anymore because of their attention span. And also, it's just as effective when it comes to finding a ruin and having a calm cycle with someone, and then recommending them Dianetics or a self-analysis or whatever. And it's got higher closing percentage. It's easier to do. It's quicker. You get more people in that way. So I've been pushing that more.
What is the stress? That's something we didn't have. What is the stress test? Is it like they pick up the meter, the cans on the meter, or what?
Oh wow! I didn't even know you guys didn't have it at that time.
No.
Yeah. So a stress test is basically a very quick cycle. You bring in the public, you sit them down, and then you'd have them hold into the cans. And when the needle, this is on the e-meter. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. On the meter, the needle would fall to the right, and when you would say to that person, "I want you to think of," obviously, there's no like. Some people have their patter to it. I just wing it personally, but you would say, "Hi there," you get in calm with them, and then you would always end up drilling the SEM drill a gazillion times, and then they would say, "Listen, when the needle moves to the right, that indicates stress." So the person's on the cans, they're thinking of something in their life that causes them stress, and then you'd be like, that's stress. You see that reaction? What did you think about? And then you just take it from there.
I get it.
Interesting.
We used to do the pinch test, which was, was actually just to show how the meter worked. Like pinch it, recall that pinch. And show the person, and the needle would read again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my father back in the day was one of the top Scientology lecturers in the U.S. and in England. He toured Ireland and Scotland and England lecturing, and then in the U.S. he'd have people loved his lectures so much. He'd come in and there'd be like 50 to 200 people showing up for a personal efficiency lecture or just on communication.
When I was 16, I did his Tell It Like It Is. He had a dissemination lecture. He came to Washington, D.C., and literally you would buy this little book on dissemination, and then he would teach you how to find somebody's ruin, you know what I mean, and then get them into Scientology. And he was a master at it.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Sorry, my lighting just died, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Do you need to fix it? Are you okay, or what?
It's fine. I was like, I didn't charge it at all, and I was like, it's totally gonna die at some point during the video, but it's fine.
Well, it died.
You can still see me fine, though, right?
Yeah. We can see you.
Okay, good. Okay, that's the most important thing. Fine.
Yeah.
So basically, that people do the stress test. You get them in personal efficiency or these introductory courses and stuff, and then hopefully at that point in time they become, somewhat attached to Scientology, and they understand what it is and Hubbard and this and that they then sign up for other services or auditing or that type of thing. Is that right?
If only it was that simple, Mark. I mean, that is the procedure, but it's a bloody pain in the ass. I mean, like the reason I was going to ask
you, do you obviously you're going to get a lot of, because Scientology has a lot of bad public relations and in the media over the last 25 years.
Yeah.
I imagine you get a lot of people that are very skeptical when they come in. And is it difficult to handle those people?
That's a good question. I mean, a lot of people blow from it. But also there's a lot of things that I disagree with in regards to just executive decisions that I completely disagree with. Uh-huh. Like I've seen supervisors neglect students and just poof, have at it. And then they've got all this data from raw. I mean, if they're on if a raw new public has never heard of Scientology and Dianetics, and then eventually you get them signed up for their first service, which is like the Dianetics book course, and it's a book from 1950 with a lot of nomenclature and terminology, and the super just neglects them. He's not gonna like reap all the wins and benefits, and he's not going to fully get it. And then there's like just over-regging that takes place, and become a member of the IES, and then join staff, and the guy just isn't tracking with everything. So there's so many things that I've observed that fall into it, and people they blow mid-course, or they finish and then say, I'll come back and I'll get this course, and they blow and never come back. The guys with the highest re-sign percentage that I've seen are guys that have really, really good FSMs. Like they're FSM'd into the org by like a Scientologist or something. And he's
Right.
like, I would recommend you do this for your business, or if, you know, a Cairo brings in another Cairo, or, you know, like what those guys, like they are genuine. Not that the others aren't, but they're a lot more genuine, and they're willing to try several services and courses, and they'll have a program of life improvement courses or life repair auditing, and they are by far the easiest to re-sign.
Yeah, an FSM for our viewers is a field staff member, and that's an
Yeah.
active Scientologist who's basically out there disseminating and trying to get people into Scientology, and then they get a commission based off of whatever the person buys. I mean, that is, there's a financial incentive for them. But I mean, I agree with you, Amir, that the personal touch is much better than sitting them in front of a movie screen or a TV screen and having them watch it. I mean, there's no interaction. I mean, Scientology is all about communication and actually building up what it was called affinity reality communication equals understanding. So it's called ARC. And if you're not building that, it's difficult to get somebody to make a decision to do something. And it sounds like, you know, field staff members, they already know the person. You know, they're already like, it's almost like saying, hey, come on, let's go to this restaurant. It's really good. The food's great. Let's go try it out. You know, you take that recommendation much more so than maybe seeing a review in a newspaper or on a TV screen or something. Right, Janis?
Yeah. And you know what? Another point, Mark, is some people, like today's education is far worse than it was in the 50s. So you've got different level there of people's reading ability. And even in the 60s, you know, you had people like Ruth Mitchell, who did she wrote a book, How to Choose Your People, which undercut a lot of Hubbard stuff for people who couldn't duplicate as easily. And a lot of people came in. The tone scale.
The tone scale, yeah.
Yeah. And that book drove a lot of people into the missions and the orgs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's just fascinating seeing like what's changed, or what's maybe still going on, or the change in strategy. But it's interesting.
Amir,
let me ask you. More liberal.
Yeah,
more
absolutely, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amir. So let me ask you this: is, you know, because we've been out, Janis and I have not been in, you know, around a Scientology org or on staff since 1990. So it's 35, almost 36 years. You know what I mean? But we were around for a long time, and we know a lot about it. Management of organizations, they run on statistics. You have a product for your position, a valuable final product that gets statusized, so that way, you know, how many people you get in, or how, you know what I mean, that type of thing. Is the organization happy? Is it still run on statistics? Is that still the way that happens? Like, is there still Thursday at 2:00?
That hasn't changed. That's for damn sure.
Okay.
There's still birthday game points. I have never, ever, like, the love that Scientology has for statistics doesn't compare to the love that like a football analyst has for statistics. They take it to a different level. I've never seen someone love statistics so much more than like, it is like, they'll say don't stat push, but they do it all the time. My main statistics as the public contact secretary in Division 6, specifically Division 6A, because I'm not in delivery or campaigns. I'm just new public. So it is new names to central files, new names to CF.
Right.
So whenever I sell anybody a book, I don't know if everyone knows this, but if you ever go into a Scientology organization and buy a book and you stick your address and your email, we have that. We have all of that. You have a folder, in fact, and people will call you in because people are assigned to call in, and they'll try and get you into the building.
Yeah.
And you might be called once a week, once a month, whatever, but they'll try and get you in, and they'll email you, and you'll be on the system. So if you're fine with that, fine. But I'm just saying that to everybody in case they want to go in or whatever. The other, I have 3. So new names to CF is 1. Then I have bodies in the shop, which is, just people coming in. And then I have bodies on the shop on service. So how many people are actually coming in on division 4, which is like major, big bridge courses, and division 6 courses, which is just introductory public courses.
This sounds like they haven't changed since we were in. Those same statistics were there for the public contact secretary when we were there.
Now, I have a question. How many staff are in Division 6 and how many in the whole org?
Yeah.
This is that's a question, Janis. That's a very interesting question. Okay, so in Division 6, there is like hardly anything. I'm going to count posted staff. You have the PS, okay?
Right.
And then you would have
Public
me.
Exec. Yep.
Public Executive Secretary, who is over every division to do with public, okay? So that person would have 3 divisions underneath them.
Right, so you're still on the 9-division org board. 9-division org board. Okay.
Yeah, that hasn't changed. So,
okay.
And then you'd have me in 6A to do with new public. Then we have a 6B secretary dealing with services, auditing or just any beginner services. And then we also I have a junior. He's a great guy. Honestly, I love my junior. But he is the director of new public contacts. So underneath him are body routers. Underneath him are different ways, even social media is I deal with it, but it is underneath him, just ways of bringing people into the organization. So we have four people posted in there, but it's interesting because we also have Division 6 expediters. And currently there is such, and this is good because I'm in PT with all of this stuff, so I can tell you what's going on right now. There is such a tremendous push, and this is a problem that I have. There's such a tremendous push on recruitment. There is CR guys, there is people posted at Flag, and their post is Ideal Org Recruiter, and they're full-time working on that, trying to man up Ideal Orgs, or trying to man up like different organizations to go ideal, to go bigger, to move into these massive buildings while still having enough staff at the Life Improvement Center.
Are they recruiting for the happy Ideal Org or for Ideal Orgs all over the world?
All of them, but they're definitely focused on us for sure because they want us to go Ideal Org this year in 2026.
So let me ask you, Amir. Okay, so they're busy recruiting to get more staff into Happy so Happy can become Ideal. Are you guys going to move from your existing location to a bigger, fancier, expensive building, or remain where you are?
Both. So we're Happy will stay the same. Happy's actually expanded because they've purchased the property next door, which is currently under renovations. It's gonna be a Life Improvement Center, but that's gonna stay the same. So you need enough staff for that. So Happy is just going to be a Life Improvement Center. And for the new building, they've already bought it and they've already fundraised for it. And it's now IES sponsored. So the IES are going to pay for the renovations. And when the ED had a meeting with COB on the Monday after the IES event last year, COB was like, oh, I can get that building renovated like immediately, but can you man it? So it's just a case of staff.
Okay. Now, is Happy still on High Street?
We're on Southbridge. So the original location in 68, when they were doing the OT levels, it moved. So it's been on Southbridge since like 69 or something.
Oh, okay. So that's where it is now.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it was okay. All right.
Yeah.
And how many staff in the organization as a whole? Just ballpark.
I think it's like 40 or 35.
Okay.
I think so,
And
including.
do you know how many auditors there are?
Oh, I mean, there's such a lack of auditors. I mean, the DFP, the Director of Processing, is basically the only guy that I know that's auditing like PCs and taking people in session.
Whoa. So you got 39 administrative staff, and the Director of Processing being the auditor.
Yeah, I mean, when I was the HES, when I was the Hubbard Executive Secretary, which was my first ever post, thing.
That puts you over divisions. That puts you over divisions 1, 2, and 3, right?
Yeah,
just 1 and 2. Just 1 and 2. On the org board, it's 7,
okay.
1 and 2.
Oh, yeah,
really
okay.
Just 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But a statistic that I had to report every single Thursday was APTP, which is admin personnel and tech personnel.
Right.
Yes.
And admin was a landslide. It's
supposed to be a 2-to-1 ratio.
It's supposed to be. It was not that, though, I can tell you.
So what is everybody doing? I mean, the purpose of the org is to deliver valued services, which would be auditing and training. But you've got 39 people who are not doing that. So
well, there may be a
like,
supervisor.
what do they do?
It's just a mess. It's a complete, and it's something that I've communicated on a prior video, which will release when this releases. But it's such a mess, and
well, let me ask you, Amir. Sorry to keep asking these
questions.
Yeah,
sorry.
How about your academy, like your training, right? Do you have a supervisor, and are they delivering? Yeah. Are they training, auditors, class 0 to 4 auditors, or what is the training routine right now in terms of lineup?
Absolutely. That's still taking place, and public are still on their academy levels or on ProTRs or upper end doc, and they're going through their training side of the bridge. And we have a supervisor.
Do they co-audit? Do they do co-audits?
Not really. I've never seen it before. No.
Wow.
It's recommended, but I've never seen it before. I don't think anyone's co-auditing.
Do any of the staff co-audit?
No.
Yeah, that was my next question. How about study time? Do you get study time as a staff member?
Yeah, I mean, the LC will hunt you down if you don't get your study. Like you're supposed to get 12.5 hours, and I do my study time. Like, I don't Skype or anything like that, but it's pushed for sure because they want you through your tip.
Let me give you a tip. Let me give you a tip, okay? Because I got in Scientology because I joined staff because I wanted to go up the bridge and I wanted to learn, okay? Yeah. So I went to my 2.5 hours of enhancement time just about every day. I mean, unless there would be circumstances where it couldn't happen, but I didn't care how much sleep I had. I wanted to learn, and that's how I got through my OEC, FEBC, and all that stuff, is I did it on staff study time. And, a lot of staff, when we were around, they didn't go to study, and they basically were missing out on learning things, so I always wanted to do that. And if you stay on staff, definitely make sure that you do take your study time.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, I'm on staff TRs, and I'm also going through, like in this moment in time, I'm going through my basics, and I've went through, self-analysis and original thesis and slant on life. I'm going through it, so I'm doing my basics whilst I'm staff TRs. Currently, I haven't been on it because I've been getting pulled off regarding the interview that I did with Alex, which is very annoying and definitely something I don't agree with.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a good thing for sure.
We'll go into that. Now, one other thing, hatting, okay? That was the other thing too. Like if you're your public contact secretary, is there an actual hatting? Just for our viewers means basically it's a manual for your job in terms of the policies and what you're supposed to do on your job. It's called a hat. He's the public contact secretary. That's his hat in Scientology terms. But do you guys have to get through your full hat and stuff like that? Your training?
It is like the thing that's being pushed the most with staff. Yeah, it's like, so I'm not fully hat, like by any means at all. I have my hat pack and it sits by my desk, in the Division 6 office, but like bridge is not being pushed. training is not being pushed. It's tip, and it is we need to send you for training for OAC FEBC so that we can have 7 more FEBC executives before moving into the ideal org, or we need them to be in training. So we need you to get through staff TRs, your basic staff hat. I'm just listing out courses that staff members are expected to do. And these are thick volumes. Like, I've always made the joke that like the OAC volumes are larger than my head. And if you thumped it on the desk, like, you'd think there's thunder outside. It's massive. So
Right,
and that's being pushed the most right now is your tip.
but the tip is your training program. And have you done staff status 1 and staff status 2?
Yeah, that's right after student hat.
Okay, and then after that is normally your hat for the job that you're doing before you do any other volumes or anything like that. That's how it used to be.
Not anymore. No, it's you
get instant hatted. You get instant hatted now.
You get, oh my god, it's unbelievable. You get cross ordered and instant hatted, and there's a lot of like verbal tech that goes on. But no, it's not like that anymore. You do, everyone's tip, the beginning is the same. Student hat, staff status 1 and 2. Fantastic. When you
Right.
Now, that changes depending on what if you're in the TTC, if you're tech trained or whatever. But usually how it goes is before you do your hat pack, you have to do your exec status 1. You have to do that. You have to do staff TRs. You have to do the finance course. You might have to do the elementary data series or the PR course. And before your OAC, you have to do your method 1 and stuff like that. It's changed now.
And this is all before you do the hat for the job that you're on.
Yeah. I mean, I've literally got like my tip at the office. I can take a picture of it.
And what about student hat? Do they still do student hat?
Before
That's
staff status
you
1
have
and
to do
2.
it first. Yeah, it's the first thing you do.
Okay, let me ask you, let's get back even more basic. Are you Sea Org, or are you just a staff member on contract? Like, what is your position in Happy, and how is Happy staff set up? And then also, what's your schedule like? Are you 7 days a week? What's that like?
Yeah. Gosh, okay, I'm going to try and not speak so much about the subject that I could speak on a lot about. Basically, I'm not Sea Org at all.
Okay.
I've had people comment that a lot actually on social media, but no, I'm not. Thank God.
Okay.
I'm not a Sea Org member. I'm just a Class 5 staff member.
Right.
I did do 7 days a week, but it was completely unstable and ridiculous. So I just went after my grandfather passed away, I was like, listen, I need to do just a day schedule. And they try and change it. They're like, oh, yeah. But then even like a day schedule isn't proper because you got to have your study time. No, sorry. You have your study time in the morning. So we want to add a little bit more. So it really is 40 hours. And it's like, so they try and add
they don't have day and foundation?
No, there are some people, like we have a soup, for example, like a supervisor who's on a foundation schedule and a supervisor on a day schedule. But most people are just chop and change, and the ED does 7 days a week all day. Like, it's very
Right.
For our viewers in the Scientology organization, a day schedule is Monday through Friday from the morning until 5 or 6 in the evening, and then a foundation schedule is Monday through Friday in the evening from 6 o'clock till 10 or 11 o'clock, and then also Saturday and Sunday. That's the foundation schedule. So you're either a day staff member or a foundation staff member, or you could be full-time where you do both, Now, let me ask you this, okay? Now, are you do they still have the 2.5-year and 5-year contracts
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, and then you obviously get paid. You don't need to tell me what you get paid, but is it enough to live on, or do staff still have to moonlight and get other jobs?
It is absolutely 110% not enough to live on. There's when you look at the gross income, the GI of the organization, how much money they're bringing in per week, it is like not viable. Like, you cannot survive off it. It's not that good.
That's typical.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
And it's been that way since I got in Scientology in the 70s, and after we're up till the time I left, unless you were Sea Org, that where they took care of everything, most class 4 org staff, they had to have a second job or something just to get by.
You have to survive. I mean, I'm very fortunate where I finished high school 2 years ago, and I was studying, and I still live with my family, and I can also pursue film and then go to the like I've made it I've made it go right way better than it was before, but you cannot possibly survive just on the org's income, and it's no.
Right.
Yeah. So it sounds like the push is on the ideal organization. In other words, that seems like the goal of Happy or the people there is like, we're getting the people in and we're doing our sort of thing here. But what we need is the OEC, FEBC people coming back, and we need the building finished and that type of thing. Is that kind of like the direction that they're going?
Yeah. So obviously the renovations to be finished. The Life Improvement Center is open. That will be a game changer. All the FEBC guys are back. They came back in 2024 after being away for 3 years.
Wow.
They will tell you. See, this is where I just give you my opinion. They were away for 3 years. 3 years at St. Hill, at Flag. They are all cause resurgence completions, superpower completions, OEC, FEBC, words clearers, supervisors, tech trained class 5 auditors, and they've managed to add 20 staff. We're not ideal yet. Everyone is off post. Everyone's coming down the org board. Nobody's wearing their hat. It's like very, very unstable.
Well, Janis, that comes back to your thing about one auditor, the DOP auditing. If these guys are tech trained, why aren't they in the chair? I guess unless you don't have many people wanting to buy auditing. I mean, I just don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
I was just going to say, it's highly unstable, and you know what, guys? Honestly, they have a saying which I love. If like, what's real for you, and what have you personally observed? Your personal integrity. When I sit back and look at the whole picture, it's like a circus. You have the exec Esto, who is OEC FEBC, who's holding Department 1 in HCO. Okay, a department which is dedicated to bringing in staff members. She's working on that full time. She's not wearing her hat. She's not doing her job. You have the ED, the executive director, he's the HES. He is the HES now. That's what he does. He works on making money for the organization whilst trying to run the damn thing. You have the org officer.
He's a reg. He's a reg.
He's a reg. Then you have the org officer, who you find souping in the course room sometimes, supervising students. Then you find him taking people in session sometimes for their bridge or for counseling. Then you have him, like everyone is. Then you have the MLO, the medical liaison officer, who, if you're sick and you get put onto a form or whatever, she's 14 years old. And then you have the PPO, okay, who is in HCO. Exactly. She is basically the recruiter. Okay. She is in high school, going to school and then coming, and she's 14 years old. And then it's just a mess.
You've got these underage people. Are they part of the 40 count?
Yeah, there's a lot of minors on staff. Yeah.
Hey, Janis. Okay. Janis, you know what this sounds like? This sounds like a Hey You org board, right?
Totally.
That's in Hubbard policy. Hey you, you're doing this today. Hey you, you're doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's highly unstable, guys.
Or a lot of people are holding job titles for status, but doing the lower part of the org board.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, no one is wearing their hat. No one is doing that. Everyone is coming down.
Yeah, that's because no one's gotten hatted to know what their hat is.
I know, exactly.
Yeah. How is okay? Now we left in 1990, right? So I know we've heard, we've interviewed people, and we know that there's been a heavy emphasis since then for the International Association of Scientologists donations, getting donations for the ideal orgs, getting donations for the IAS, getting donations, and not so much a push on, oh, you need to get up the bridge. Let's get you need to pay for your bridge. Let's pay for your training and that type of thing. Is that true, or is that an exaggeration?
Honestly, Mark, all I can do is tell you what my experience is and what I've observed. I have no idea what happens in AOs or in other orgs. For us and Happy, and when I go down to St. Hill, I've been to the IS event 2 times in a row and Patrons Ball and all, so I know what it's like as a staff member. First time I went, I was the HES. Second time I went, I was being transferred to the PCS, the Public Contact Secretary. During IES time, or the build up to IES time, there is a ridiculous amount of pressure from several sources, from several people, as to, I'll give you the quota. Last year, Happy's quota, which has never ever been done before, was $100,000, $100,000. It was in dollars, so $100,000. We didn't make that quota. We did pretty good, but we didn't make that quota.
The quota was for a week.
That would. I think we had 2 weeks of preparation, so we wanted to do our best to pre-reg the money before we went down.
For the IAS.
Yeah, I mean, they told us when I went to the Great Hall, which is a massive, massive hall at St. Hill, where you find all of the staff and guys, Sea Org guys from upper management and Commodores, messengers, and all these guys. They were like, UK, you guys are paying for the tent, so you need to make your quota, otherwise Europe are going to pay for it. So we had a lot of pressure to do that. So there is, for sure, but then take away IES event time, there's so much unbelievable pressure on the public, and it's not a big field. You don't have hundreds and hundreds of people to reg and to sit down with. Like when you look at the people that come on service, which I don't know if I can say those numbers, but when you look at who comes in on service every week, it's terrible. There's no one to reg. And so all the pressure is put on these old timers, on these guys that are they've left this organization and they're public going up the bridge or whatever, and they're getting pressure to get a training package or to get 12 intensives, which is 12 like I can't remember how many hours it is, but it's a lot of hours of counseling, and 12 intensives is over 10 grand. So there is like, regardless, a massive push and pressure, which I think there's always been of regging.
So those field people, or the people in the field that are public, they basically feel the pressure of it. Kind of pushes them away because they have to donate here and donate here and donate here, and they go like, my money only goes so far. What am I supposed to do, right?
Yeah, 100%. I hated it as the HES. I didn't choose to be the HES, so I had to experience having to pull people after the course room and sit down with them and try enlighten them in the time I had, and I was like being shown all these references about hard sell, about like repetition, and don't be reasonable, and you have to get these guys through stops and barriers, and you have to enlighten them, and it was hell. It was horrible having to sit down with these guys and they have to max out their credit card. It's a horrible job. I hated it.
Big league sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you mentioned earlier that when they come in and start doing the little basic courses, they also have to pay for IAS. So they have to pay for that membership. How much is that? So
for an annual per year, it's not that bad. It's £150 or $300. Okay. And then for a lifetime, it's $5,000 and £3,000. Yeah, see, and there's policy in those green volumes there, or maybe they've taken it out, but there's policy of not having associations and memberships. It distracts from getting the person on service and up the bridge and trained. Yeah.
Hey, Amir, let me ask you, I mean, I take it you do have people that are going up the bridge public, or that are paying and that type of thing. Is it very many, or like, I mean, we used to, I mean, it used to be a big deal when I was public, that, when you finish a course or you finished your auditing, you then gave a success story and everybody would gather around and that type of thing. And there'd be a lot of people to do that. I mean, is that happening these days?
Yeah, that's not changed. Still a thing.
Okay.
I'm a joker and a pranker, so I remember I always have a good laugh with the DFP, with the director of processing, who, by the way, does the exams and attests people, also. And I remember, I think I finished student at, or I did something, and he was like, "Okay, here you go, write your success story." And I'm like, "Yeah, it was good." And then I gave it back to him, and then we had a good laugh from that. But yeah, you're expected to write like a really, really acceptable, good success story, and then it's still a thing where you can. I think it's always. I don't know. You guys will, but you're allowed, when you finish a major course or a service, especially training, you can stop the course room and speak, like, and say like wins you've had or whatever. So yeah, that's still a thing.
Yeah. So they they go into the course room and say, "That's it."
Yeah.
And then they now hear
Amir,
this, and they
Amir
want to
completed
announce
the
this
student
person.
hat. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to, but the soup will say, that I can stop the course room for you if you want to say something. So yeah, you can.
Okay.
Okay, let me because we're here at 49 minutes, but I just wanted to ask now that we've talked about being on staff and that type of thing, but
yeah,
what made you, obviously Janis and I and these other people, Apostate Alex, I mean, we're SPs, you know what I mean, in terms of Scientology,
them, not to me.
because we're no longer on staff and this and that. But anyway, but what was the impetus or why did you reach out or decide to start speaking out? I mean, you didn't reach out to us. We got you through other people, but what was the reasoning for that for you?
That's a good question, Mark. I'm going to try again and not ramble on and talk like so much.
Well, let me ask you a question before that. Are you guys are you allowed to go on the internet and see what's there about Scientology?
Absolutely not, and I didn't find that out until very recently.
Okay.
After you've done it.
So they don't want you. They don't want you looking on the internet to see what's there.
Oh no, absolutely no. They do no. Like I've not, like, the cycle is still going on, and that was over a week ago. So I'll tell you. So it's a personal.
You don't have to go tremendous detail. Just generally speaking, why did you do it? And what was your thinking on it?
For sure. It's basically, it's just a personal choice. Me, Amir, and my personal decision is, and it comes from, again, just being very curious and doing a lot of research, and I have every right to talk to whoever the hell I want to talk to, and I'm not a Sea Org member. Okay, I'm a normal guy. I'm a Class 5 staff member. I have my own life. Right. I have my own family. I'm 20 years old. I'm very young. I don't have family in Scientology, so as far as I'm concerned, I can dip in and dip out, no problem at all. So I'm very fortunate in that way. But Steve Hassan, who is a very fascinating guy who talks a lot about, like, his opinion on religions, or he said that he was involved in a cult before, which was the Moonies. He said, just be careful in terms of who tells you what you can consume and what you can't consume, who controls your information, who controls your behavior, who controls, you can speak to this guy, you can't speak to this guy. So he said, just look out for stuff like that. And I observed, obviously, certain things, but ultimately I can pick who I speak to. I have human rights, they say, is a big thing in Scientology, and I have every right, freedom of speech. I can speak to whoever I want to, and I think it's the right thing to do as a young person, or whatever age you are, to seek truth. And when someone says, don't speak to this guy, he's bad or whatever, like, just go out there, seek truth, see what's true for you, see what's real for you. You guys are not evil. I know that you obviously you're very truthful and sincere and honest, and you express your experiences and what you observed and what happened when you were involved in it, which I admire very much, as will I, but we should be able to get along like any other normal people.
Right.
Well, especially
No,
if the purpose is to clear the planet, how can you clear the planet if you're not going to go out there and be willing to communicate with anybody?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
right. And L. Ron Hubbard says communication is the universal solvent. I mean, you know, that's
Yeah.
one of look at when after being out of Scientology for all these years, right? We've talked to so many people, right?
Yeah.
And you know, they aren't the boogeymen. You know what I mean? They're just not bad people. They're good people. The people who got involved in Scientology that I was involved with, they were
Yeah.
good people. They wanted to help mankind. They wanted to help their fellow man, you know. And to just sort of just discard them, it makes no sense. You know, I've met lots of people in other religions, born again Christians, Mormons, this and that, right? You
Yeah.
can talk to them about their faith, you know what I mean? And you may not agree with their faith, but you're not going to change their mind. And that's kind of the way I always felt about Scientology, which is because I had tremendous gains and tremendous wins from the Scientology auditing and training that I got. I still use the concepts and things that I learned in Scientology in my day-to-day life today. You know what I mean? I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Now, there are things that I disagree with in terms of management, in terms of the policies and that type of thing, you know, but the fact of the matter is that there are disagreements, you know what I mean? And some of them have been very destructive. And so I speak out about them. But as far as my belief and faith and my wins, I don't let people tell me that my wins were invalid, you know. And I think it should be that way for everybody. I mean, Scientologists should be able to communicate with their family and friends, even if they're not in Scientology or if they left Scientology. Because if you have a firm belief in what your faith or whatever it is, nobody's going to sway you, you know.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think
you should be able to learn and to look and to question things, you know, and
you should be.
and see what's there. Yeah,
you should be, and it's seeking the truth, and it's being truthful with one another. And I always, why can't we get along? Why can't we talk with people? Yes, we don't agree with this and this, and we observe things that were not right at the time, and we speak out about it. Why is that such a bad thing? Why can we not get along? Why is there this separation and there's no unity involved? Why is there so much don't talk to this guy and disconnection and tearing families apart, and mothers can't talk to sons, and that goes on? I found it recently. I nearly passed away last week. I moved apartment, and the neighbors smelled internal fire, and there was 2 gas leaks. So if I stayed longer in that house, I could have passed away in my sleep from the carbon monoxide.
Wow.
Or the house could have exploded. So this, whether you believe in reincarnation or multiple lifetimes, this lifetime is so incredibly precious and short. And you don't have the time to argue and dispute and not talk to your children or your mother. So I oppose this connection, and I'm experiencing it right now. As I've done an interview with Alex, and I've had people kick me out of group chats. I've had people message me from London work saying, I don't want to speak to you anymore. It's like, why is that a thing? Anyway, that's just my take on it.
Janis, what's your feedback? What do you feel about this?
You know my feelings on disconnection. I hate disconnection, and I think it's probably one of the worst policies that Scientology has, because and even after Hubbard canceled disconnection, he said you need to handle the people, and only if they're real SPs do you disconnect from them. And there's not all these people are suppressive persons. They're good people. They're just being cautious, or they see the abuse and don't want to be a part of it. And that's why I think the disconnection continues to be pushed, so that people like me can't influence someone like you, because you're seeking the truth. And if you don't talk to me, you're not going to hear that truth that you're seeking. And I have nothing against Scientology. I grew up in it. My parents were both Scientologists before I was born. I was raised with that technology, and then I was raised by Hubbard as a teenager. So a lot of what I do and believe in is still Scientology, because I haven't gone and gotten deprogrammed and reprogrammed. So I still have a lot of that think going on. And
Yeah.
I know for sure I'm not an SP, but
Yeah, and
I
you've been
work and
very
I
successful.
thrive. Yeah, I've been very successful, but I like connecting people up and
Yeah.
improving people's lives through those connections and making people happier because they have that connection and things have gotten easier and they're back in touch with their family or, different things like that.
It just seems like the human thing to do.
It is.
Absolutely. And look, it's not just Scientology and faith. I mean, I don't even want to get into politics, but I mean, here in the United States, we're very divided in our politics and people won't talk to each other on both sides. It's like, just like you're saying, you have people kicking you out of groups and disconnecting. If you state the wrong political viewpoint for some people, they then disconnect from you as well. And it's horrible. It's just, people should be able to talk to each other.
Yeah, my brother and I have different views, and I actually made a comment today on the phone to him, and he's like, "Let's not go there." So it's like, okay.
Yeah. I know. I mean,
that's the thing. You compartmentalize it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, you don't talk to your mother about Scientology because she doesn't like it. That's fine. That doesn't mean you don't love your mother. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
100%. That's just it's like. As I'm saying it to you right now, it's like the simplest thing in the world. You can have differing opinions and views, and I'm not saying Scientology is bad at all. I reaped several rewards from study technology and from admin technology, and applied it in my life and in filmmaking and in learning subjects I thought I could never learn. But we call out things that we know as human beings are bad. And disconnecting a mother and a child or family for decades is satanic and inhumane.
Yes.
And telling people that you cannot get along with one another because you have differing views. So all we're doing is like we're just calling out stuff that is not right at all. We're just being human beings with one another. It's like
you're not applying Scientology.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, a real suppressive situation is if you're connected to somebody who is abusing you, you know what I mean? Or who's a murderer or a thief or somebody like that, where they're literally trying to hurt you survival-wise, that type of thing. But if somebody that's got a different opinion about their religion or about their beliefs, that's not a suppressive person.
We can still get along just fine.
I mean, Scientologists, my experience with Scientologists, they stand up for themselves. You know what I mean? They don't sit there. They're not wallflowers. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, they can take it. It's like, okay, well, I don't agree with you. That's fine, but let's still be friends. Let's use ARC, to equal understanding.
Literally. Yeah, exactly. Just use ARC and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Anyway, we appreciate you coming on here, and look, we hope that you don't get into any trouble. I mean, literally, whatever your situation is with the happy organization, we hope that everything works out. We appreciate you coming on and talking with us because you can tell, so I know you're watching this video at some point, we're not evil people over here, Janis and I, and Amir is a great young man, and he's got his whole future ahead of him. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater here,
And that's exactly what they'll do, Amir. If they try to kick you off staff or whatever, they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You're a good guy.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. I just wanted to say just one very, very, very quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if any steward members watch this, and I don't know if any staff members watch this. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, whatever. Anyone that's watching this video, just if I can say one thing to please take away, is this life is very precious and very short, and there is no room for fighting and for quarrels, and to just stay out of contact with your family and just stay true to what you observe. And if you see something that is not right, don't be like, these are stable people that you can reach out to privately, or what if you just need someone to talk to or need advice. These are experienced guys that have worked with Ron, or that have been in international management, or have worked with chairman of the board or whatever. So just stay true to yourself and your personal integrity, and just please don't lose your humanity and continue to be a human being.
Yeah, well said.
Very,
And
very
also,
good.
if you do get on the internet, any of you, come to our channel, Scientology Peeling the Onion. We don't judge. We've interviewed people that knew L. Ron Hubbard, that grew up, studying L. Ron Hubbard in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, staff on the Apollo, people like Janis. They tell their stories about their time in Scientology, and they're not lies. They're just telling their stories, So if you really want to find out what it was like when Ron was around, come to our channel, Scientology Peeling the Onion. We've done over 360 interviews, and they're all there, and their playlists there and stuff, and you can watch it and go to town, right, Janis?
Yeah, absolutely. But also, if you do decide you want to leave staff and need help, then there is the Aftermath Foundation, and you can reach out to them. But it's a matter of just being up to get on your phone or on the internet somewhere. Go to a library. If you don't have internet at home, you can go to the library and use one of their computers and search. You'll find us.
And then the other thing I wanted to mention is, this is Janis's book that you can actually get. You go down in the description in our merchandise store, you can get an autographed copy. Okay, Janis, that's Janis right there on the flagship Apollo with L. Ron Hubbard when she was 12 or 13. I always get it wrong. But Janis is one of the original messengers for L. Ron Hubbard, the Commodore. And she's written 2 books. This one is book 1. And then this is book 2. And that's Janis as a teenager with L. Ron Hubbard. Okay. And Janis, along with some of the other original messengers, Janis spent 6 hours a day, 7 days a week with L. Ron Hubbard for years. Okay. So I like to say that nobody spent more time with L. Ron Hubbard during that time period than his messengers, including Janis. So anyway, these 2 books are available down below. And if you're interested, they have photographs from that time period on the Apollo and at St. Hill and that type of thing. So anyway, you can go down there and get these books. And if you want to know the true story about, what L. Ron Hubbard was like and what it was like to be a messenger for him. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, great. All righty. The other thing I wanted to mention is, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Hit that like button. Hit that notification button. That way, when we have another video that's coming out, and we appreciate the support. Also, if you have any questions or comments about what we talked with Amir here, please go down below and ask a question or comments. We do read them and we do answer them. And that is that. Is there anything else you guys would like to say before we end off this video?
Janis, take it away. I mean, that's basically all from me.
Good. Well, if you come up with anything else, we'd love to interview you again.
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see what happens.
And any other Scientologists or Sea Org members or OSA members, if you want to speak to us, we'd be glad to have you on our channel. It's an open forum here, and you could tell if you watch this video to the end, we didn't attack anybody. We're not super critical. There are things that we disagree with, but that's okay. It's okay to disagree with things. Anyway. Okay, everybody. Okay. Until next time. Amir, stay on. Okay, don't leave. But anyway, I just want to say until next time, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Absolutely. Yeah.